Alright, we're rolling. And we is back here, Spoon Daisy TV, coming at you. There's nothing blocking my crown chakra. Anyway, let's talk about China. People's Republic of China, which is actually many different provinces. It's huge. China is big. Like 1 billion people and counting. Like, that's a lot of people. That's must be a very, very tough job to be, governing anything that big. And, it's sad that communism from, the highest ideals seems to have failed in so many different places. It's just like self-interest is important, like free enterprise, like everyone's trying to make the best for themselves, and if they can see that, they're going to profit from their work, their labor, then they work really hard and it works. Whereas if you just say this is the right thing to do, so let's get some, let's just make people do it, it doesn't work very well. So but socialism does work. If you have free enterprise and, freedom of individual ownership and individual freedom. So if you've got, and the right to choose your elected leaders, which they kind of do in a communist system, it's tricky. It kind of is democratic. So you got to look at socialist democracies more carefully because, we only have two parties to vote for. And I looked at how communism works, and they have two parties to vote for too. It looked exactly the same, and I was highly suspicious of how democratic we are when we're comparing ourselves to socialist democracies. And anyway, I think it would be, apparently socialism's kind of dead in China. There's no free, free education, free healthcare, free housing. Those are the basics of socialist and communist government and society. And apparently those things went out the window, I think, with like Deng Xiaoping, because it looks a little bit like the West, like probably the American deep state got in there and said, Deng Xiaoping, here's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. So that, we saw China adopt capitalism and looked like it was going to become just the sweatshop of the Western world. So, it was all open for business, and now, the Chinese rightfully have said, actually, we're making the shit, so we'll make the money from it too. And so they should. But at the same time, have a look how long Deng Xiaoping was in power for and what he stood for and what changed in China. And you'll probably see a bit of a pattern emerging that, he was the best friend of the West. Wait, come on, let's go. And now with Xi Jinping, so I'm not even sure if I got that last name. I know who Xi Jinping is. He is the current leader of China, and I believe he's doing a good job. But China's just too big. So, the best way you could get socialist government working is to get it working province by province, town by town. Get all the, get the people looking after themselves, if things get too big, it just gets crazy. How are you ever going to govern anything that big? And for what purpose? Just to get a bigger army so you can fight bigger wars. That's not a very good basis for anything. So let's go, just one person running one household, it's kind of like a full-time job. One workshop, one business, it's a full-time job. So if you're running one city, that's a big job. So maybe we have got to come back to the city state, and maybe that's as big as any of our government like centers of power should be. So yeah, and I'd like to see a revitalized communism happen in the PRC, because we need, like, Australia works really well because we have a strong socialist, strong element of socialism, keeping everything, just making life good, just providing a stable basis. And that's what they're lacking in America. So like Michael Moore said, who do we invade next? And look at all these great ideas, all these, not just ideas, look at the great systems working all over the world. So look at where things are working. The universal basic income does work. And then you've got a stable basis for business to operate. Small business, big business, all of it. So yeah, that's my little wrap on that, because look at like nuclear war. That's what we're scared of, and I mean, it's not even going to be nuclear war. It's going to be like viruses and stuff. But that kind of is the same in the way that you can't attack your nearest neighbor with a nuclear bomb. Like, Iran doesn't really care if all the people in Lebanon die if they attack Israel with a nuclear weapon. And China and America are just far enough away, they can probably work out how to do it without the nuclear fallout hitting them, landing on themselves. But like, Alaska's not going to go to nuclear war with Quebec. New York's not going to go to nuclear war with Washington. They're too close. So yeah, that's the economy of scale breaks down when we're talking about government, because they just get too big and costs us everything, the earth, everything we have. So yeah, let's let's break it down. Let's everybody take responsibility for each other and themselves in a safe, happy world. And we're gonna go town now and enjoy the benefits of Western democracy, as it seems to still be working, and everybody working together. Like, yeah, so we can buy the good things in the shops and not get violently oppressed by police or military, or just people who don't like someone else for their religion or their race or sexuality. So that's good, living life in the free world. So yeah, all right, that's it for now. Let's go. Bye bye.